be talking to players from the entire team.
Today, I'm joined by Peyton Chattenay.
What's your mindset when you step on the mound?
When did you learn you were going to be in Orleans?
What do you think that feeling is going to be like?
Hi, Cape League fans. This is Coach K, manager of the Orleans Firebirds, and I'm here to tell you that Cape League baseball is back this summer, and it's time to meet the Bird King.
Welcome into another episode of Meet the Bird Gang 2.0. I'm Noah Searson, and today we are joined by Mac Horvath, a UNC player, infielder, and also a fellow Minnesotan. Great to talk to you today, Mac. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to ask you kind of a general question to start. When we're talking about baseball, most people get into it at a very young age. And I guess I'd just like to learn your story of how you got into baseball and when you decided, this might be my calling.
Yeah, I probably started when I was like 4 or 5. It was something both my brothers played, and I just kind of wanted to start doing what they were doing. And probably once I got to about 13, I kind of started taking it a little more serious because I kind of noticed I was pretty good at it. And then that's kind of just when I kind of started taking off with it.
For sure. And, you've been extremely successful already. You're obviously at a great school for baseball in the ACC, but it didn't necessarily come easy. I know when you were at Century in Rochester, Minnesota, you had injuries your sophomore year, your junior year, which is obviously, a devastating thing for any athlete to face. What got you through those injuries, and, how did you kind of battle through those to come back to where you are today?
I mean, just really wanting to be back on that field. It's something that I love to do is playing. So I wasn't going to let any type of injury just stop me from playing something that I love to do. So I think just the love for the game keeps me wanting to be out there.
And, the love of the game is why any athlete keeps going. But was it ever hard at any point?
Yeah, it was definitely hard, especially my junior year. I was in the hospital for a few days, and it's just hard to keep a positive attitude. But I mean, I got a lot of people behind me supporting me and being there with me through all of this. So, yeah.
And, you battle through those injuries, have a successful career, both, your whole career at Century High. You even played a little bit of basketball, but then you make the decision to attend probably the most prestigious prep school in the country for athletics, IMG Academy down in Florida for your senior year. What went through that decision for you? And was it tough, going so far away from what you had known?
Yeah, it was a tough decision to leave for my senior year, but I knew whichever route I was going to take after high school, it was probably the best decision to make. And I'm 100%. I would do that again, make that decision again to go down there. I thought it was an incredible experience and prepared me for college. So,
And, what is that experience like? Because I know, you see IMG Academy not only for baseball, but for football, for basketball, like they get the top of the top athletes. What was it like for all of those, young athletes that have very promising careers, both at the collegiate level and potentially professional level? What was it like being with all of them at the same time?
it's pretty cool to see. I remember the first day walking into the cafeteria, and there's like a bunch of basketball players, and they're all like 7 feet tall, and I was like, oh, it's a new experience. But it's cool to see a lot of different athletes just getting better at their sport. So.
And of course, now you're at North Carolina, and you've actually been committed to North Carolina for a while. Correct me if I'm wrong. Before your junior season, you had committed to the Tar Heels. So what was it like, committing pretty early on and being that kid from Rochester, Minnesota, going to a big baseball school?
Um, I mean, it wasn't really anything different. I didn't really try to like throw it out there like, oh, I'm committed or anything. I just kept going about my business. I mean, like going into school, like it was really only my friend group that knew, and like my principal, but like none of my teachers knew. I just kept doing what I normally do.
And when you were making that decision to attend North Carolina, how did you end up in Chapel Hill? Because I know going into that season at IMG, you were the number one ranked recruit in Minnesota. Of course, your other Minnesotan teammate was the other premier recruit out of Minnesota. So, how did you land in North Carolina and decide to play for the Tar Heels?
They saw me after my freshman year at the Perfect Game Junior National, and that's when we started building a relationship, and eventually went on a visit with twice, once with my mom, then once with my dad, and it just, I mean, obviously the baseball here is great, but felt a good connection with the coaches, and then just the atmosphere around campus just really felt right.
And not to mention the weather's great. You can mention that too.
Oh
What's
yeah,
it like to play baseball in a place where it's meant to be played, not the snowy confines of, Minnesota?
yeah, that's definitely a bonus. I mean, being able to be outside on the field in January, I mean, it's something you don't get up north. So,
And what are you looking forward to the most? You guys start your season pretty soon, just in a couple weeks towards the end of February. What are you most looking forward to heading into this season?
I mean, really just going out and play because I know for a lot of the older guys, they had their season cut short because of COVID, and then us coming in, us freshmen, we kind of had the same deal. So really, just being able to go back on that field and play.
And when you're making your transition into North Carolina as a freshman this year, what kind of challenges did you face? Because I know it's probably challenging as far as athletics. With COVID, you can't meet the same way as a team as you normally do, but it's also a hard transition for school. How did you manage that?
Yeah, I think going back to IMG, I think was a really good like stepping stone to get here. Um, the schedule we had there was pretty similar here. Classes in the morning, get lunch quick, and then go to practice. So I think I think that was really good to experience before I got here. And as for challenges, I don't really know, to
It
be
was too
honest.
easy. There were no challenges for you.
I mean, I don't know. I can't think of any really.
It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to think of anything. I put you on the spot, but it's great to hear that you're doing well. You guys are looking to have a promising season. And I know we cannot wait to see you don that Tar Heel blue this season. But let's
Mhm.
fast forward a little bit. I know the Cape season probably seems, far away. In a lot of ways, it is. You have an entire baseball season until then, but in many ways, it's actually coming up. So, can you just take me through the process of how you learned about the Cape League and how you eventually ended up on Orleans and being a member of the Firebirds this season?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to play in the Cape. I mean, it's one of like the most prestigious summer leagues, so definitely something I've always wanted to do. And we had a talk with the whole team about summer ball earlier in the fall, and they basically just said like they're gonna work on getting us with the summer ball team, and they just kind of reached out, Firebirds, and that's just kind of how it happened.
And Orleans couldn't be more pleased to have you. You mentioned that in a lot of ways the Cape is like the all-star league of summer baseball for collegiate athletes, and that's a lot of fun. You certainly will face a lot of great competition and also have some very great teammates. Have you spoke with any of the teammates at all? Have you spoke with Kelly at all about the upcoming season?
Um, Not really. I've texted just the coach like briefly when he reached out, and but I've played with a few of the guys. I've looked at the roster, so looking forward to meeting everyone though.
Is it going to be weird potentially facing guys that you're going to play with this summer during the school season at all, or is that something you're used to when you used to play school and club baseball back in Minnesota?
No, I don't think it'll be weird. I think it'll be a good experience and just overall like really fun this summer.
For sure. And, it will be a blast. Of course, focus on your current season. I know that, all Orleans Firebirds fans are ecstatic to see what you can do for North Carolina this year. And, as we wind down on time in this interview, we've learned a lot about you as a player, but, I'd like to wrap up this interview the same way I have a couple others, and that's to get to know you more as a player. So what we're going to do is, we're going to play something I call the squeeze. And much like the play in baseball where it's chaotic, you don't know what's going to happen, people are moving, you don't know where the ball's going to go. This is also going to be chaotic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a minute on the clock and I'm going to fire a bunch of quick rapid fire questions just to get to know you a little bit better on a human level and get your interests. So you think you game for that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. So right now I'm going to put a minute on the clock, and keep in mind, we are both from Minnesota. So be prepared. I'm going to sprinkle in some Minnesotan references in here because, these are just things we need to know. So I put a minute on the clock and we'll start now. First question, what's your favorite sport other than baseball?
Basketball.
Basketball. Were you a good basketball player? I saw it on your Instagram.
I was all right. I was just really athletic. I wasn't the greatest shooter, but
All right,
passing and jumping, yeah.
fair enough. Who's on the pregame playlist?
Oh, any type of country.
Okay, we got a
Just
country
a
boy.
lot of country, yeah.
I like it. All right, Minnesotan one here. Green bean casserole or tater tot hot dish?
Tater tot hot dish.
All right, that's an easy one. I agree. I don't really like green bean casserole.
Yeah.
Another Minnesotan one. Favorite spot to get a Juicy Lucy?
What's a Juicy Lucy?
You're kidding.
No. I don't know.
Man. All right, we'll skip that for now. Another question.
Okay.
If you couldn't play baseball, what would you do?
Probably play basketball.
Play basketball. All right. Our minute's up. I'm gonna go back though. You don't know what a Juicy Lucy is?
No, I don't think I
Maybe
do.
it's just okay. So I'm from Minneapolis. Maybe it's a Twin Cities thing, but it's the burger that's stuffed with cheese.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is crazy. That's like usually the thing I can level on with all Minnesotans. I realize Rochester's like down south a little bit more, but that's crazy. All right.
Where is that from?
It's like a Twin Cities thing. Like popular ones are Matt's Bar, the 5-8 Club, a million others. The Nook, which is in St. Paul, right by Cretin-Durham Hall, where Joe Mauer went.
Right.
So there's a bunch of different ones, but that's crazy. All right, if we're ever in Minnesota at the same time, I'm taking you to get a Juicy Lucy.
All right.
It's happening. Wow. Matt Horvath has never had a Juicy Lucy. That's crazy. All righty. Well, that was fun. One finishing question before we get all wrapped up. And, that's a basic one. I'd like you to give a quick tease to all the Firebirds fans on what you bring to the table coming up this season. So, what should they be looking forward to when you don the Firebirds uniform this season?
I think just a whole lot of athleticism all around the field. I think there's nothing on the field that I can't do. So just being athletic in everything.
All right, there you go. He's a freak athlete. That's infielder Mac Horvath from the University of North Carolina. You can check them out all season long. They start the season later this February. It was great having you on the show today, and we can't wait to see you on the Cape, Mac.
Thank you. Appreciate it.